Hey, what's up? It is Rob Judge, and I am joined today with my very good friend, Chris, aka 60 Years of Challenge. And what we wanted to talk about was a concept that really you introduced to me, and I think is absolutely brilliant. And it was funny. It was something that I sort of did naturally once I started getting better with women. It's something I did very unnaturally when I was not good with women. But it's the idea that a natural sexual tension exists when you're in front of a girl that you're attracted to, or not necessarily a girl you're attracted to, it's just a girl, that there's a natural sexual tension.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, whenever, and I'm sure guys can relate to this, a woman is in front of you, especially when you first meet her, you get this feeling of electricity that like, whoa, I like this girl, maybe you want to sleep with this girl, and it's very powerful. And I think the first time it happens to you, maybe it even scares you a little bit, and maybe even if you see her feeling it, I think in a guy's mind is like, oh, I have to make this girl feel comfortable first. We can't have this feeling like in the air. We better like shut it down right away because I got to make a girl feel comfortable, then kind of make my move. But the funny thing is like that feeling you're talking about, that's kind of like the secret sauce, the secret electricity that gets the interaction rolling pretty fast.
Yeah, and that's a great point because I think every guy can relate to that when they meet that girl for the first time and they immediately feel that sort of buzz or that like, oh my god, this girl's gorgeous, or I would love to fuck this girl or whatever. Well, add your inappropriate thought here. But the problem is that a lot of guys then just kind of diffuse that because they feel uncomfortable with it. It's not as much as that I know from my personal experience, it's not as much as I was like, oh no, I don't want her to feel uncomfortable. It was like I felt uncomfortable. I felt like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this way. Right. So I would do something to diffuse it. And one of the things I learned from you is that that's one of the worst. That's probably the worst thing you can do.
Right, absolutely. I think the thing is you feel almost creepy that this feeling's in the air and you just want to like shut it down right away. Like you feel almost like she knows. I think it's like, it's not just you, it's like she's feeling that I'm feeling this, that I want to like bang her, and you're like, we got to get rid of this right away. I mean, one example would be like, whenever you're talking to a girl, there's obviously going to be that moment where there's a pause in the conversation, a silence, so now things are just quiet. And in that like second or two, it's like this thought is transferred, like, man, I'd love to bang this chick. And like you see her looking, and it's like that feeling, it's like we just got to rush in and say something and say anything. And I think that's when guys blurt out a lot of stupid stuff like, so, or like, yeah, hey, and it's like you ruin that moment instead of basking in it and enjoying it, where you both kind of, because it's funny, it's really with like girls, a connection is made. It's not like you talk about traveling and talk about like what you did last summer, the connection is made. It's really made in like a split second. Like just that second of eye contact, it's like an understanding, or a second of silence when you look at her and she looks at you, and it's like, boom, it's on. It's not this long drawn out thing. It happens in like an instant.
That's such a great point. And I think that what you're saying is that a lot of guys, and it's almost like a muscle you have to develop, where you feel that comfort in that sort of, and I want to put in finger quotes because it's really not awkward. I mean, now to me, it's like ridiculous to even think of it as being awkward. But I know when I first started, that moment of silence, that moment where you're kind of making eye contact, you kind of like both realize like we may or may not fuck tonight.
Right.
Like it's that sort of like moment where you realize that, and to develop that muscle, that sort of like hold the line, like I'm not going to talk first. Me and Bobby made a video about this, and where we compared it to like a game of chicken, and it's whoever like swerves first. And
right.
It's like you don't want to be the one that swerves first. You want to be the one that's like comfortable in that moment, because the more you let that moment sort of permeate and sort of build, the more electricity there's going to be, later on.
Absolutely. And I think guys got to realize, again, it's just that 1 second you have to get good at. I think like a lot of people talk about eye contact and you think, oh man, I got to like stare this girl down for a minute and like have this like mean look on my face and stare her down. No, it's like comfortable. It's like a second extra. When I tell guys about eye contact, just an extra second longer than normal. It's not like this, I got to stare her down. It's kind of just like for that extra second, boom, and then you kind of like slowly turn your head away. A lot is communicated in that second. It's not a minute of silence, like sitting there like, wow, there must be a lot of sexual tension.
Yeah.
It's like an extra second or two, boom, then I start talking again. Just letting it kind of fester in the air there, the tension.
That's a great point, and I think that that's something that I advise guys to do, and I think I probably learned this from you, is that you really want to wait a second or two before you respond to a girl. Like if she asks you a question, don't be like, oh yeah, blah, 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 motor mouthing like your response. Like just chill out a little bit, like take a deep breath. Think for a second and like let there be spaces between your words. Like speak a little bit slower. Like actually like give her that sort of excitement, that moment where she's kind of like second guessing, okay, what is he going to say next, or what is he going to do next? Because, and again, this goes back to like the scrambler and unlock her legs and all the stuff that Bobby and I talk about, is that, like, you know, if you think about yourself, like the experience you're projecting onto a girl is like a movie, and if she knows the end to that movie, she's gonna get bored and she's gonna want to leave. But if she's kind of like wondering, okay, what is he gonna say next? What's the next? Like, you know, if those wheels are spinning, that's where a lot of attraction and sexual tension kind of happens.
Right. And the first step is like you got to kind of see yourself as a little more seductive. I know it's hard for people. It's like you're afraid your friends are going to make fun of you. Like, aha, look at Rob trying to be seductive over there. But like,
yeah.
It's hard. You go out, you're being social, you're meeting girls, you're kind of being funny and witty to meet them. But now it's one-on-one and you're talking to them. Now it's kind of like you got to change it up a little bit, be that little more seductive guy, a little more sexual guy, and kind of chill things out a little bit. I know it's hard. It's two different energies.
Yeah.
You're running around the bar, hey ladies, what are you celebrating? Cheers. And then it's like, okay, wait, let's slow this down. Let's chill out. Let's make it a little more seductive, a little more sexual.
So Chris, where can guys learn more about you?
All right, awesome, man. You guys can click the link below. There's a lot of more free information for you. Actually, a presentation that shows you the biggest mistake guys make when it comes to building sexual tension and what you can do to turn things around and actually get that girl.
And that's great, because obviously I hope is very, very clear from this video, sexual tension, and that's sort of like those underlining currents that, you know, aren't necessarily like, she can't put her finger on it, but just something like that's what chemistry is, right? It's just like that. There's just something about him phenomenon, and that's kind of what you teach.
And the best thing is it's free. It's there if you want to take advantage of it. Most guys just give it away, but it's there for you. There's nothing special you need to say or do. It's just waiting for you to tap into, so to speak.
It's great stuff. All right, well, Chris, thanks a lot for swinging by. I'm sure that our viewers got a lot out of it, and
all right, talk to you guys later.